I'm anticipating a meetup today with a man who goes by the name Faun, and that's where our crosshairs lie. So disregard the more common variety, FAWN, referring to an immature deer in its first year, or to a light yellowish brown or tan color, although I did just learn that the verb for the latter, to fawn, is another way of describing deer getting it on in the woods. As such, it might have been a better theme. But no need to get ahead of ourselves. It has been said the former Faun, fawn, is a mythical creature part man, part ram, goat, or other hairy, jumpy, bleating varmint. Or part woman, part cloven hooves, horns, tail, like a voluptuous Pan of the ancient Greeks. A troublemaker, a mischievous trickster, an ominous figure intent on leading humans astray. Others consider the faun a being with one foot in the spirit realm. She is attuned to the needs of the whole planet and all of the animals, and thus uniquely suited to accompanying us on a journey forward to a life of nurturing and connection with the biome and ourselves. So which faun did we get in this digital purgatory? My compatriots were as much in the dark as I. Was this faun going to lead us to a hopeful destiny or astray to some damnable end? Although I clung to strands of hope, despair nipped at my heels as our journey to the faun commenced. We managed to exit the central structure of the Watrix by first going to visit Norman, a blind fellow whose nose for tea led him to be able to smell exits. By we, I mean Hiroka and I, Blompy, and of course Gwendolyn, our bodyguard. The perpetual dawn and dusk seen from the window of my starting point in the Watrix gave way to a waxing and waning darkness in the south over the dunes. It faded darker in a gradient to the west, and to the east it lightened toward the farm and the spot where we knocked grip boots. I mean Hero and I, not me and Blompy, obviously. A desert wind howled and shushed through the dunes and tufts of grass as we gazed through the door to the outer realm. Leaving the building and trudging across the dune field made me want this meeting with the faun to go off without a hitch. Hero took the lead and I followed with Gwendolyn, our guard, tailing me. I felt the Night One stalk us. He whispered doubts into my ear and anticipated my failure. With every sinking step in the caving-in sand, I sensed my future slipping. I succumbed to a quiet desperation. My body temperature plummeted. I became a tangle of slivering nerves and chattering teeth. Emotions whirled around the uncertainty of whether I'd survive another existential snub on top of being trapped in this virtual purgatory. That's when our first nemesis burst out of a middling sand dune in the form of Vlather Mergelbaum gone berserk. Hero intercepted him, but not before a retractable talon sprung from his palm like a second thumb and sliced my left love handle to shreds. Then he tumbled to the ground. He deftly kicked a burst of sand into Gwendolyn's eyes and hooked his talon into Hero's belt, then ignited his heel jets, skyrocketing with her up the side of the Watrix wall to a ledge. Hero screamed back at us to keep going no matter what. She would dispatch the rapscallion. Then they crashed through the window and disappeared inside the structure, with an oddly quiet swoosh. The problem with undergoing a trial that is a death by 1,000 paper cuts is it can feel like you've been blindsided by the true enemy. Rarely is it Flavia Zontheos herself, wetware cyborg in a sapphire sequined evening gown, slicing the opened end of an envelope along your body. The true culprit does not stand in the limelight. They hide behind henchpeople, strangers, and bots. Or worse, they turn your friends, family, and community against you. Gwendolyn patched me up with some Cell-XB body tape. As they say, don't bleed out, be smart, and tape up. Who had actually snubbed me? Satoyoseer Worldwide uploaded my consciousness into this confounding maze. It fit their speculative afterlife insurance agreement. I say speculative, since when us employees signed it, the technology had not even entered the prototype stage. None of us knew if it would actually work when we kicked the bucket. We signed on because it seemed like a bonus opt-in benefit. And yet I've been dumped into a bug-ridden beta test of a world full of predators, misfits, and dead ends. Not what I had envisioned. Lumpy, Hero, and even Trilby have been bright spots in this hazy nightmare. I could rant about Hiroka not receiving me with all the warmth I expected, but she has also been the most caring person I've encountered in this phase of my existence, and she's now holding back the tide of executioners as far as we know. Then there's Companion Systems, the responsible party. I can't fault Gil, Persephone, or any of the other phone operators who've shuffled me around while on hold.
Yes, you can. That gal said onward. So stop dawdling like a turd in a punch bowl.
Speak of the winged devil. Fine, I'll just tuck the tablet into my knapsack as we climb this imposing dune, which should contain an entrance to the Faun's lair. As we reached the summit of the dune, sure enough there was a trap door. It sucked me down a chute into the playpen area of the Faun's abode. Faun was a man in his late 20s with 2 kids and a job smuggling wazzles and supplying them to undocumented beings in the companion realm. He had no magical bearing at first glance except for the ram's horns supporting his reading bifocals pushed up on his balding pate. Otherwise, he looked like a blasé version of famed actor Raul Pudd.
Mind taking your shoes off?
Sure.
Nice place you got here.
Is he house-trained? I have a strict no guano policy.
Make it quick, Thornton. This fella's got the personality of a dish rag.
Yes, let's get to it. Can you get me out of here?
Gladly.
Whoa. I may be hanging out like a hare in a biscuit, but that's no reason to flatten me.
Put down the cricket bat. I've been made to believe you could help download me back to a cyborg body in Hellgate City. Or, Dearth. IRL.
Ha! By whom?
Hiroka and...
Oh. If you're here on behalf of Miss Sawyerton, why didn't you say so?
She's tied up with... Long story. Can you help or can't you?
Seeing as I owe the mother of my children a favor...
The what?
Oh no, you have a crush on her? This guy thinks he has his shot. Oh, fine. It can be done with the right coordination on the other end, but it'll hurt like childbirth and may cost you some number of organs.
What does that mean?
Your corporeal being will get pulled from the tank and you won't be allowed back here. And if the download fails, that's curtains for you.
What are the odds of success?
Depends on your reception team, but off the top of the dome, I'd give you 50-50 odds.
It's not that bad here.
Tell Hero I said hi.
If or when I see her, I will.
Oh, and she will have to embed that daemon into your brain link, like we discussed, or it's a no-go.
Noted.
Well, great. Let's blow this hidey hole.
Hold it. Looks like the perimeter has been breached and your friend...
Gwendolyn?
She's disappeared. I'll have to conduct a search. Do you have any experience with infants?
Well, I fathered 2 children.
And I've bought 13 cartons of cyber cigarettes. Answer the question.
I can watch the little one.
I mean, feed her. Breast milk's in the warmer by the fridge. Be careful. She will bite your nipple if it's prominent. I'll be back shortly.
Hi there, Pumpkin. Her name?
Rumiko. Change your diaper too, would you?
Yeah.
Great. See you in a few.
Do support the head, old chum. What do you think I'm doing, Glitch Brains? Zip it. Well, we might as well journey to the downside up now, as long as Rumiko approves. When we last left Lily K's story of the Stone Stew, it had intersected with that of 2 long-estranged twin brothers. Alleged assassin, thief, and kidnapper Clarence C. Riggs, and Chief Police Negotiator Detective Marcus C. Kurosawa. The 2 men could not have ended up on further sides of the law. Now all 3 were aboard a blackguard police helicopter being commandeered by an entity who went by the name of Papa and claimed to be the ghost of Ernest Hemingway. Lilike had revealed his ability to perceive Papa, something that, as far as Clarence could tell, was until that moment impossible for anyone but himself. In fact, Clarence believed Papa was likely a personal hallucination owing to his various medical conditions or early onset brain rot due to all his cyberizations. After being scathed by a demon beast in the Pennsylvania Mega Hotel, Detective Kurosawa, on the other hand, was so delirious and foggy from blood loss that the notion of Hemingway piloting the chopper was just one more outlandish detail in an ongoing fever dream. He faded in and out of consciousness as Lilike and Clarence got acquainted.
How's the cop? I mean, your brother.
Not great. See a cyber leg twitching? That means there's nerve damage or at least interference. We need to set a course for a medical facility. Do you know a Ripper Doc in Neo Jersey?
What the Schlitz?
Damn. Sounds like we have a freeloader.
Blackguards?
Yep. Could be a stowaway, or...
That thing?
I'll check it out. You stay with Marcus. If he starts seizing up, use this Trank auto-injector.
Oh, by the way, Hemingway said he's got this baby in autopilot and couldn't land it if he wanted to. Also, he's afraid of birds, drones, and anything that flies, so we've got T-minus 10 minutes before someone needs to take the wheel. Got it?
About that. We'll talk later. Follow his lead if I don't return.
If you what? Hey!
If the ship starts rocking...
Don't come a-knocking.
Huh? No. Hit the winch motor. Reel me back in. Worst case, abort.
By parachute? Wait.
And with that, Clarence proceeded to inspect the outer belly of the chopper, looking for the source of the disturbance. He turned on his retinal heads-up display and scanned the vehicle's outline for aberrations, its heat map, anything in the visual spectrum that might indicate a cloaking device or optical camouflage. After realizing he had no idea what normal looked like, he felt the tail of the helicopter jerk upwards, nearly spilling him off the landing gear and several thousand feet down into the Chrome Canyon. He began to climb backwards to avoid being dropped like Humpty Dumpty. Hey there, partner. Something's on the nose of this bird. It seems to be pushing us face down toward the Hud River. I can barely make out the adumbrations of it, but it's catching some of the schmutz that should be hitting the windshield. Now you tell me. Great. I'm not sure how to get out there. There's a pair of mag boots in the chopper's service compartment. Put them on and activate the magnetic grip function. Easy peasy. Walk upside down along the belly of a crashing helicopter? Yes. Why not? All right. I'm proceeding. Oh, dreck monkeys. This thing's coming at me. It's clawing right into the fuselage like a cat on a scratching post. And with that, the demon beast lunged for Clarence. Bending him so far back, one of his feet popped out of its magnetic soled boot. He attempted to fend it off with his grappling blowgun, but the beast knocked it out of his hand and it spun down through the air into oblivion. He held on as best he could. He just didn't want to get filleted by the now glitching, fur-covered behemoth. It had latched on to his safety cable, the only thing truly tethering him to the chopper. And so, Riggs used his last bit of energy to slip out of the other mag boot and drop. He and the demon plunged 15 feet and swung, pulling the helicopter sideways in a rude jerk. Then the demon climbed up the cable to the skid, and it began to pull the line up, lifting Clarence like a worm on a hook. Clarence called out to Hemingway to cut the line using the winch blade. Hemingway, of course, claimed he couldn't do such a thing as it might kill Clarence. And, well, Clarence overrode him with a command. Just as he was being pulled up into the demon beast's maw, Clarence kicked the landing gear it perched upon, and the skid folded under the belly of the craft, making both Clarence and the beast free fall. Clarence screamed, "Now!" The carbon fiber cable snipped, and down they plunged to a watery grave. This was how Lilike ran away from their family and joined the resistance, and how Marcus survived in order to collect his pension and forever wonder about the brother he could have had. Back in the relative solitude of Fawn's living room, I felt overwhelmed by questions about Riggs, the fate of Hemingway, and Lilike's journey. Lumpy, who is that? I don't want to wake baby Rumiko.
What are you doing with my baby?
Hiroka, so glad you're okay. I was just looking after her since Fawn had to step out.
Wow, he was not supposed to do that. I'll take her. Hello, darling. You hungry? Hungy-wungy? Got a case of the hungy-wungies? Jeez, when's the last time you changed her?
Well, I haven't yet. I was going to, but...
She is ripe. I'll do it.
Where are your pants?
Well, they got burned off by Vlather's leg jets. Long story. I'll be back. Where's Gwen?
Fawn went to...
Got it. Be back in a few.
Meeting with this Fawn character has cornered me into making some hard choices. After Hero Force installed a synthetic assistant named JV into my brittle mind, it became clear I could use it to help the Ghost Gang, my new compatriots comprised of the 100-odd souls trapped with me in this digital purgatory, or I could sulk and resort to stubbornness. Like a mecha armadillo, I was inclined to roll up into a ball of blast-proof armor.
If you back out, I'm going to have to extract JV from your brain link and find another host.
And leave me high and dry?
You mean get too busy for chit-chat? We're gathering momentum for a cyber war. You, of all people, should understand what's at stake.
What makes you think I want this digi-doofus worming his way into my consciousness?
It's your ticket out of here. I thought that's what you wanted.
Not unless you're coming.
Oh, grow up, Thornton.
I know I'm under tunnel flotsam in your eyes.
Cut the self-pity spiral.
My only comfort?
While you are in your cocoon of denial, the rest of us go nowhere. We die here.
How do you know that?
Your dreams. They have opened a lens on a world we have been caught off from. And it's easier to see a path to victory from here. We're dead souls. We can haunt the wire waves and overcome the corporal oligarchs in ways flesh and blood assassins could never.
That sounds grisly, like a dragged-out cyber purge. And you're raising children amid this conflict?
It wasn't planned. We're co-parenting, and they're one of the main reasons I'm committed to fighting.
I don't want to lose everything that matters most to me in the struggle.
So you'll stay here. The Night One has driven a dozen comrades to kill themselves. Liberation is the only way. You'll have to sacrifice. Accept JV into your blood-brain barrier. Sure, it'll take time, but if you join the cause, we will be linked. Don't I matter?
Of course, that's what I've been saying. Cryptic vagaries like the cause and the resistance stand in the way of getting back to my son. I want the whole package.
They're vehicles to carry you to Kirby. Forces bigger than any one of us. Ah, dreck, Puddles. I overestimated your readiness.
No, I just need you close.
Constant closeness jeopardizes the mission. And anyway, I have a lot going on here.
I see that, but it would give me the chance to cut the tendrils JV will root into my mind. You know the risk of mind rot. What good am I berserk? Delirious? What if I go full Vlather Merkelbaum? You know I'm here, right?
You don't get it. My build of JV allows me to backdoor into your brain link from a virtual cyberdeck. I can even free you from this damn tablet. Reroute the call.
When I said I want you close, I didn't mean inside my head eavesdropping. What do you mean reroute?
We can run the call through your brain link. That way, you needn't carry the tablet around like a baby blanket.
Is that how I look?
Do you want me to or not?
Fine. But I'm not sure about being downloaded back to Neo Amsterdam. Into what body? I need to know more, like...
This call has been rerouted through your brain link by Jalphonics, aka me.
Wait, there's hold music playing inside my skull.
Correcto mundo. And how does it feel?
Bad. This was a huge mistake. Turn it off.
Not sure I can. Hang on. That better? I think I turned it off.
You may not hear it, but I still do.
JV, any help?
I lack root access to his mind's ear.
Do not grant that.
Fine. Why don't you take Rumiko while I chip away at this?
I got her. Where's your other kid?
Simon?
Oh, God!
He just punched you in the balls, didn't he?
Yeah.
Simon, what did I tell you about visitors? He has a cloaking blanket, which is dangerous with a 2-year-old.
Previously, in Shocking Sleep Facts, we touched on how poor sleep among healthcare professionals increases the rate of medical errors, which are the third leading cause of death among Americans, according to a 2016 study published in the British Medical Journal and linked to in the Patreon-exclusive Uncut Sleep Facts Volume 28. And if you want to learn more about surgeon and Professor William Stewart Halstead, MD, at Johns Hopkins Hospital in the 1880s and 90s, struggling as he attempted to demonstrate surgical procedures with violently shaking hands, you gotta join the Patreon. Meanwhile, let's drill a little deeper with a question about today's shocking sleep fact. Compared to doctors working 16 hours or less, what percentage do serious medical errors increase when medical residents work in a 30-hour-long shift with little to no sleep, as has been the norm? I'm talking about things like prescribing the wrong dose of a drug or leaving a surgical tool inside of a patient. Stick around till after the credits to find out. Screaming Panda presents Faun, Episode 28, the 18th chapter of Hellgate City, Season 2. Kevin Barry wrote, performed, and directed it. He created its original music and episode art with his hooves. The bonus nugget for this one is The Fray, Glitch in the Waitrix 28. Available only at patreon.com/Hellgate City in the Bonus Audio Tales collection. I've tossed 2 additional bonus tales into the mix called Out of the Abyss and Assassination Nation because that's just how I do. And look, I need your support to wrap up this season and keep the show ad-free. It fuels me. Some no-cost options are to follow the show and rate it 5 stars on Apple and Spotify. Join our Discord. Become a free Patreon member. Sacred tunes await you. But if you can contribute financially, it makes a massive difference. Yes, join the Patreon. And if you'd rather make a one-off contribution, that's also hugely helpful. Shout out to Lou and Twiglets Are Great to Eat for donating to our coffee page, linked in the show notes, or just go to ko-fi.com/Hellgate City. Donate today. And now, the answer for our shocking sleep fact is residents commit a mind-boggling 36% more serious medical errors when working punishingly long 30-hour shifts. So, maybe stop doing that. And if you're dating someone whose lower half looks like a goat, or who sports prominent horns, I would definitely inquire whether it's cosplay or something else, and how might that impact the relationship. Till next time, denizen, dream well.